I've always said that unfiltered access to the internet is incredibly damaging, even to a sane mind. It's too much information for even a normal, sane person to comprehend. So imagine, if you will, you are an insane person who isn't really mentally his age and has trouble discerning reality from fiction. Don't you think having unfiltered access to the internet would be extremely damaging to you? Having unlimited time to explore any kind of schizotypical theory and immediately believing it and accepting it into your lexicon might just be a bad thing for you. People who are truly insane really need to be deprived of this thing that most normal people can't even be trusted with themselves. What's worse is that there are potentially unlimited people out there on the internet whose only intentions with you might just be to fuck with you for no other reason than their entertainment, to fill your head with all kinds of delusions just to see how you may react. Warhammer is quite the interesting specimen. Someone who you'd normally have to look for and search for out in the safaris has been dropped at my feet inadvertently. It's quite the weird experience and rabbit hole to delve into. So enjoy. So, for those of you who don't know who Warhammer is, he's essentially a personality streamer who does everything from playing Minecraft to reading things about political theorem that he finds interesting. He's carved out his own little niche of about 50 subscribers, and he gets anywhere from 2 to 5 live viewers at any given moment. He'll stream for about 5 hours at a time every single day. But the topics of his streams and the thing that seems to interest him most is the interpersonal drama between Z-lister internet celebrities that just happen to exist in the same sphere as them. He obsesses over their motivations and their every moves every second of the day. So Mormon Shaggy, who is this emaciated crack baby who lives inside a homeless shelter, decides he's going to dedicate a 5-hour stream to making fun of Warhammer. You know, it's an average day on the internet. We're gonna make fun of speds for people's amusements, because we have, like, nothing really better to do. It's just an average day on the internet. Nothing out of the ordinary there. But Warhammer sees through Mormon Shaggy's facade of innocence here, and he's ready to tell the truth about what this man's intentions with him are, making fun of him and obsessing over him for 5 hours.
So, why would someone do 5 hours? Think about it. 5 hours. Okay? 60 minutes in 1 hour. 120 minutes in 2 hours. Over 5 hours going point by point, saying the exact same stuff over and over again. Trying to say that I was in the alt-right and all this other stuff. It's called gaslighting and blackmail. Okay, that's gaslighting. You guys are defamation agents. Mormon Shaggy, you are a defamation agent and a federal intelligence asset. Laughing Daimyo, you are a defamation agent and a federal intelligence asset. Euros MC, you are a federal intelligence asset. You are on the CIA's payroll and you're supporting and working under a U.S. military contract. Okay? Drunken Surfer, you're a paid defamation agent and you're a federal intelligence plant. Rudy Coleman, you are a paid defamation agent and you are under the federal government's payroll and you are an intelligence asset. There, I just said it, boys. Okay?
So after a bunch of people take interest in Warhammer as a person and try and engage with his stream and perhaps poke a little fun at his eccentric personality, the conclusion that he obviously comes to is that these people who have now decided to go after him, quote unquote, are actually paid federal assets. Yes, 5 agents are assigned to Warhammer 24/7, like gaslighting him. They are paid defamation agents by the deep state. Each of us require training, salaries, dental, our computers have to be paid for. We have handlers above us who write narratives for what's going to happen between us. Yes, all this money from the government and taxpayer dollars are being paid to have 5 speds come into this guy's chat and annoy him. Like, that's honestly what he believes. In his mind, this makes sense. This is the narrative he has decided is real. To him, it makes sense. But you're probably wondering, why would the deep state pay 5 people to fuck with this guy? Well, he knows the truth. Let's find out.
You want to get me riled up so that you can get me detained, or put up as an insane person and detained, by spouting a bunch of gaslighting stuff. You guys are trying to make me look like I'm insane. It has nothing to do with with any kind of a mental illness. It has nothing to do about Asperger's or none of that. All that Kino Corner stuff was gaslighting. It was gaslighting to pin me up to look like a criminal in the public eye so that I could get put into jail, so that the FBI could raid my house and get me in jail. That's what you guys were paid by the CIA and by Bairu corporations, by the FBI to do. You people are all of you are on the federal government's payroll, and let's just be honest with it, you guys are feds.
Yikes. Yikes as fuck. I've been found out. I've been called out for what I am, a glow-in-the-dark fed. All 5 of us. Our plan is to make this person sped out and look retarded, as if anyone needed to do that for him, so that the wider public who watches his videos will think he's a dangerous person for society, and the FBI will arrest him once he admits he's alt-right on his stream. And that's so much easier than the deep state just downloading child pornography to the guy's computer and a manifesto about how he wants to bomb a mosque. This guy's so important that he needs 5 dedicated agents to fuck with him around the clock. And he defeats these agents by just blocking them on, YouTube and shit like that. That's honestly how this guy's minds function. Sorry, doorbell. That's honestly how this guy's minds functions. It's quite insane to consider that he honestly believes this. But the gaslighting just doesn't extend to the online world. Of course not. He's so much more important than that. He has the knowledge to take down Jeffrey Epstein and the deep state. So the gaslighting extends to real life. And let's see how that manifests itself.
I almost forgot about this one. This is a guy, I was, a few months ago, I was in this McDonald's. I went to this McDonald's, and there was this guy that walked in, and he had, earplugs, walkie-talkie earplugs in his ears, and he had a device in his hand, and it was aimed straight at me. And I made sure to get a picture of him. You see this guy? You see how he has those earplugs in his ears? Like he's talking to someone, and he's got a device in his hand. It's probably a phone. Like he's showing, something, like he's trying to get stuff on me. And this is what's interesting right here. This is what's really interesting. Do you see that? Do you see how that looks like Alaska? You see that right there on the map in this McDonald's? That's shaped just like the state of Alaska. Look at that. Isn't this kind of weird? If this is all just a coincidence, isn't this just all really bizarre? Don't you just find all of this to be kind of really bizarre and weird? Okay. So that's the state of Alaska right there. You see how that looks like Alaska? Now, isn't it interesting that Jake Shields lives in Alaska? Isn't it weird how he lives in Alaska? And that thing up there on that map by that guy looked just like the state of Alaska. Isn't that kind of weird how all all these guys were exposed as feds. Like Baked Alaska was exposed as a fed. This guy, a guy Gel, was sending me this stuff about FBI raids and all of that. Don't you find that kind of weird? So, is it really pushing it that far to say that these guys are working for Byru Enterprises and Intrepid? Euros probably works under Lance Cottrell.
So yeah, with the YouTube gang stalking and now this person in McDonald's, what more evidence do you need? That's pretty, that isn't a coincidence that the gang stalker just happened to walk into this exact McDonald's he was in, that just happened to have this like stained glass image of Alaska. Obviously that must mean something. The gang stalkers planned for this exact thing to happen. It's not a stretch that there also happens to be another gang stalker who's from Alaska. It all matches up, man. Warhammer's smart enough to make all these fucking connections together, but he's not intelligent enough not to bring his fucking cell phone along with him that can record everything he says and can track his exact location. So perhaps Warhammer isn't smart enough to make these observations and connections himself. Perhaps he's being fed this information by someone who's pretending to be his friend.
That called you guys feds in the first place. Burger Boy, Beans, several other people, Hidrio Alpha, all these guys came to that conclusion before I ever so much as even made a thought about it. Now I've come to that conclusion too. You guys are glows.
So there you have it. This idea that he's being gang stalked by people on YouTube wasn't an original thought. It was something implanted into his mind by this guy named Burger Boy, and he actually has his own YouTube channel. If we take a look at it, we'll see that all of his videos are just him documenting people who are fucking insane and who genuinely believe they're being gang stalked. And he overlays their videos with these like disturbing visuals and adds music over it to make them look insane. Like, take a look.
Gang stalker right there, that white vehicle that passed by. It was a white female with the vehicle, one tail light. So if you're already rich, what do you need more money for? But you deprive me of money. I don't know if y'all can see that. One tail light, I can see it. She's sitting there at the red light. Right here, you want to be seen. And she got a Virginia license plate. But you blocked me from having anything. So I'm just showing y'all that I'm still gang stalked.
Threatening her life, I mean, it's so dangerous. They go. Magic takes them away. They go. And then somehow in the water, tap water, chemicals, I'm like, that's clean.
And not waking hours. Okay, so when I wake up in the morning, bam, I already got, somebody saying some bullshit in my head, right? So, obviously, automatically, I'm like, yep, go fucking die. Go fuck yourself. Okay, have a great day. Stuff like that. But I realized after this literally long period of time, their tactics and their techniques and how they work and how they operate. And here's what I'm going to tell you how this works right now.
So, Burger Boy's essentially hit the jackpot here with Warhammer, and he's decided to take him under his wing and pretend to be his friend, feeding him all these delusions about gang stalking and about all these agencies that are coming after him. Like, whenever Warhammer has doubts about who someone is on the internet, a Discord user or commenters, Burger Boy is immediately there to tell him what these people are about and what their intentions are and what agencies they work for, everything.
Why would a guy Gel try to have me look at the FBI raid with Gahul? That was so weird.
The guy is a Fed. The guy is a New Zealand sounding Fed. I don't know what his deal is. I just wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't speak to him. Like, there's something off about him here.
You said there was no federal agents, just Fed informants, so I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I colloquially say Fed to mean, like, this is just somebody that I'm not going to deal with. Because, like I said, I don't think there's any actual, like, federal payroll employees hanging out in the Kino wasteland with us. But, I mean, if somebody does something really terrible and the feds pick them up, one of the first things that the federal agents will do is say, hey, we looked into what you do every day. Here are some people. Would you like to not be in trouble right now and tell us what they did? And if you don't have anything to say, then you're in trouble. If you do have something to say, maybe they'll give you a chance.
So this is really the only social interaction that Warhammer gets at all, is speaking with people in Discord who feed him these delusions. These are his only friends. He doesn't have anyone in real life that he can go and speak to and perhaps contextualize everything that he's been saying and make him see perhaps that these are all just delusions and none of it's true. So when presented with actual arguments that the deep state won't send people on YouTube after you, they might send a helicopter after you, and how it doesn't make sense that one of these secret agents that's hired by Jeffrey Epstein and the deep state, the most powerful entity in the world, would have their YouTube channel flagged down, he can't believe that. Because then that would invalidate his entire friendship and everything he's been told over possibly years. It would mean it was all false and completely pointless. So he can't believe it. Like, his cognitive dissonance is completely wired into his brain. Like, he's the most brainwashed person there is out there. And it's all because of these people just fucking with him.
You checked outside to make sure the black helicopters aren't coming for you, Warhammer. No, that's not how it works. That's not how the American deep state works. You're confusing conventional police forces with the secret deep state, or the American deep state, or the shadow government. I pay my own agents to flag my channel, so that you could use that as a scapegoat to get me to put the blame on me. You could use me as a scapegoat. That's why.
He has absolutely no one in his real life to tell him that what he believes is insane. He honestly believes that people in the J-Danks army, which is a trolling group dedicated to fucking with eccentric individuals like himself, are his friends.
I've made so many wonderful friends from, like, the J-Danks army and people like that.
The J-Danks army doxed him and sent kids to his address to fuck with him.
Reformed Stoic, Jake Shields, and J-Danks 420, Jason Bether, have been paying two kids, Zach and Cody, in my neighborhood to harass my mother and I. The police will not lift a finger to even lend a hand in the situation. You will find some of my formal evidence showing Zach and Cody are stalking me. Okay, so this is one of them. I took this picture of him when he was on his bicycle.
Go ahead and say whatever you want, kid. I'm recording it. Very hard charges on you. You will go to juvenile. Yes, you have. Keep doing that, kid. You're going to go to juvenile one day. You need to go home. You need to go back home with all your other juvenile delinquent friends. Don't yell at me, son. I'm on my property. I can do whatever the fuck I want. What's with those gang signs you're throwing up? You think that you're some kind of a smart hotshot, do you? You think that you're a literal shit, aren't you? You're gonna get yourself into big trouble, and you might even get yourself hurt. You're gonna get yourself hurt one of these days doing stupid stunts. Yeah, Yeah, well, that kind of thinking is going to get you probably killed. That line of thinking is going to get you into some very bad trouble, and you're going to probably get hurt, and you're going to get one of your family or friends hurt.
Jadanx himself came to me and asked me to fuck with Warhammer himself. You know, this man who's supposedly his friend. And, you know, he really believes that these people are his, like, friend group and not just, like, people who want to fuck with him and gaslight him into believing all this shit. If you go to Warhammer's Forge Gang server, you'll see that, like, everyone in the list of people that are subscribed to his subreddit that he talks with all day, every day, he's on Discord constantly, are his, they're just Jadanx people. Like, his entire server is infested with this. Like, it's really, sad to see, but this is just what happens when, like, developmentally delayed fucking retarded autistic people are given access to the internet. They can't know, a good person's intentions from a bad one, so they will just, believe whatever is said to them. And, we know this from Cyrax believing that, there was actually a person from, a record deal trying to sign him on fucking Discord. And we know this from fucking Chris Chan, who genuinely believed that all these girls contacting him from around the world were genuinely, his girlfriends. And that's why he'd shove his fucking medallion up his ass. These people are, easily manipulated. And, psychopathic people fucking know that. It's fucked to think about. But, he would be a cow ripe for the milking, or, everyone could go out and milk this fucking cow. But no, Burger Boy and the Jadanx army are now, gatekeeping this cow for themselves, so they can just, feed him all this, disgusting information and gaslight him. It's pretty fucked to think about it, but again, that's why I said that people like him really shouldn't have access to the internet for their own good. They just don't know what to do with this information, and they'll just end up hurting themselves, and it really isn't their fault because they don't know any better. Warhammer is in his 30s, but he has the mentality of a child. He was never given the luxury of having a sane, sound mind like me and you were. It's really sad to think about, but I think it's for the best that he just be taken away from this online community. Nothing good can really come out of it. He will just spiral deeper and deeper into delusion until he has a fucking mental breakdown. And then Burger Boy will have all the clips that he needs for his channel. Man, pray for Warhammer. Pray for Warhammer that he does receive some actual social interaction in real life so that he may receive some help. And that the people who treat him like this are damned to eternal suffering. Pray for Warhammer.